this video, we will discuss about Will You Be My Friend? Carbon is a very friendly atom and forms bonds with other elements very easily. But till now, we have seen only about hydrocarbons, which includes carbon and hydrogen. But carbon also forms bonds with nitrogen, oxygen, chlorine, fluorine, and many others. These groups attach to carbon by replacing one or more hydrogens. These atoms that replace hydrogens are called heteroatoms. So, if these groups have to attach with carbon, they need to replace hydrogen and then attach to carbon. So, for clear understanding, let us look at an example. So, here, this is the structure of methane, that is CH4. So carbon, which is surrounded by 4 hydrogens. So this is a very pure hydrocarbon which includes carbon and hydrogens. For suppose if I want to add chlorine, then I will have to remove one of the hydrogen. So I can remove either this hydrogen, this hydrogen, this hydrogen or this hydrogen. I can remove any of the hydrogen and add chlorine in that particular hydrogen's place. So now I prepared to remove this hydrogen. So what will I get now? The resulting structure is this. So since I removed this hydrogen, I added chlorine there in hydrogen's place. So this particular atom which replaces hydrogen and joins in that place is called a heteroatom. So I hope it's clear. These heteroatoms will confer specific properties to the compound irrespective of length and nature of carbon, and hence they are called functional groups. These functional groups are attached to carbon by replacing one hydrogen atom or atoms. So in the previous slide, we just saw that chlorine is replacing one of the hydrogen and getting attached to the carbon. Now, when the chlorine is getting attached to the carbon, it will confer some properties for this new compound formed, and hence that particular chlorine is called a functional group. So, we will study more about functional groups now. So, when we look here, the chlorine or bromine, they are usually called halogens. So, you are represented by bond Cl and bond Br. So, they get substituted by replacing any one of the hydrogen atom. So when you take oxygen, it is classified into 4 types. For an example, if OH group replaces hydrogen and gets attached to the carbon, then it is called alcohol. The functional group is alcoholic group. So this OH is a functional formula of alcohol, which is a functional group. So whenever a single bonded OH is attached to a carbon, then that particular compound is said to have a functional group alcohol. Next is the aldehyde. If C, single bond H and double bond O are attached to a carbon group, then it is said to be a functional group named aldehyde. And when a carbon which is attached to a double bond oxygen is attached to a carbon, then it is called ketone. And when a carbon with double bond oxygen and single bond OH are attached to carbon by replacing hydrogen, then we call it a carboxylic acid. So, the functional groups mainly are halogens, alcohols, aldehydes, ketones, carboxylic acids. And the formulas are for halogens as functional group, you have Cl and Br. For functional group alcohol, you have the functional formula OH. And for aldehyde, you have the functional formula C double bond O single bond H. And for the functional group ketone, you will have C double bond O. And for functional group carboxylic acid, you will have C double bond O single bond OH. So whenever you find these functional groups attached to a particular carbon, then you call it with a name referring to its functional group. So we will learn about in the further videos. Thank you.